Continuing here in the Orchos Yosher, as he describes to us the importance of rising early to make sure that you're davening on time. And he says, it says in the Avos Rabbi Nosson, Sheinish al Shachris, sleeping in the morning. It removes a person from this world. Because if a person sleeps in too long, enjoys the pillow and the blanket more than he should, so that he's going to miss the time to say the Kriya Shema in the morning. Ayin Sham, take a look over there. And this comes out in halacha as something that is crooked, that is impossible to straighten out. If a person breaks a bone, so you go to the doctor, he puts it into place, you wear the cast, after a few weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it might be, they take the cast off, and the bone is straight. Once again, everything is fine. Person's back, he throws out his back, he goes to the chiropractor, they work on the back, everything is great, he's straight, everything is fine. But there are certain things that if you make it crooked, there is no way to put it back on the straight path. And one of those is that if a person misses the Zman of Kriya Shema in the morning, which is really not so late these days, so it's a ma'uvas, it's something that became crooked. Lo yuchal iska, you can't fix it because it's gone already. You can't go to the orthopedic doctor and have him straighten out your Kriya Shema. It's gone for today. You can get it back tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, but today you lost it already. Kamashama b'chagiga, like it says in the Gemara in Chagiga, v'afilu bitul pam achas Kriya Shema, and the Gemara says that even if a person missed the Kriya Shema even once, they missed the proper time, it's as if he didn't read the Kriya Shema at the appropriate time all the days of his life. Like it says in the Gemara in Brachos. Va'ayin ba'Orchos Chaim, you'll take a look in the Shulchan Aruch, shepasuk that says, the afilo a mispala v'sikin. Even a person who doesn't daven v'sikin, they don't daven nates, the earliest time for a person to pray the Shemona Esrei. Nevertheless, chayiv lahaktim mashiyucha, a person is obligated to try to get early, to wake up as early as they can. V'yisr gamal yisachat seif hazman, and there's a prohibition for a person to come so late that they actually miss the time of Shema, they miss the time of davening, of Shemona Esrei and the like. Kamashikasav Agra, like the Vilna Gaon writes, V'shem Yerushalmi, in the name of the Yerushalmi Gemara, Ubegemara, and it says in the Gemara in Brachos, Amru b'Marava, in Eretz Yisrael, Laite Alzeh, they used to curse someone who came so late to shul that he almost missed the Kriya Shema, or he almost missed davening. V'chalila l'zalza b'kilas Chazal, God forbid that we should take lightly the Chazal don't go around cursing people, God forbid. That wasn't their mission or their job. They were, on the other hand, they were trying to be mevarach people, bless people, and be mechazik people, and bring them closer to Hashem. Certain things, though, they saw as being very detrimental to the spiritual content of a person's life. One of those is that if a person sleeps in and misses the time of davening, misses the time of Kriya Shema, so it's not the way to start off the day. Ubeshulchan Aruch Reish Orchos Chaim, in the beginning of the Shulchan Aruch, the very beginning, it says, Yisgaber ka'ari la'amoid ba'boker. A person has to strengthen themselves like a lion to get up in the morning, la'avodas bayra, to do the service of Hashem. Because of Mishnah Berurah, the Mishnah Berurah writes on these words, V'afim yashianu yitzur b'charif, even if in the winter the Yetzer Hara comes to you, Loimar, and he says, Eich tamoid ba'boker, how can you get up so early in the morning? Ki akar gadol, it's so cold outside in the valley in the morning, it's 59 degrees. How can you get out of bed in the morning? I can't understand. How can you do such a thing? Or maybe the Yetzer Hara comes to you in the morning hours of the summer months, and Loimai says, Eich tamai mimitascha, how can you get out of bed? You know, the nights are very long in the summer. You went to bed so late last night. You were doing very important things till 2 o'clock in the morning on your cell phone last night. Now, how can you wake up in the morning to go daven to Hashem? Stay where you are. Stay in bed. You need to get a lot of rest right now so that you have a lot of koyach to do more good things for the next day. V'yizgaber alav ha'al yishmala. You have to be stronger than the Yetzer Hara and do not listen to his foolishness. V'yachshay b'nafshay. Think to yourself the following. If you were a servant or you're one of the ministers of the king, and you knew you had to wake up early to go and serve the king, if you had to go serve the king, he's waiting for you. I would imagine even if you were on the cabinet of the President of the United States, even if it's worthless these days, still though, you got a job, and your job says you got to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to lose your job. You don't want to get in trouble. You're going to serve the king. You're going to serve the president. So certainly, says the Mishnah Berurah, a person would do whatever they had to do to get up early in the morning to do that. Kol shekein v'kal v'chaymer, all the more so. Ben b'nai shekal v'chaymer. Livnei melech malchem malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have the schus to go and serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the morning. It's not a king. It's not the president. It's not a prime minister. Those are all flesh and blood people that we see all the holes they have in their life. You have a schus to go and serve the Ribono Shel Olam in the morning, and therefore, how much more so should a person do everything within their abilities to wake up and arise early to go and serve Hashem. Ad kan l'shana, those are the words of the Mishnah Berurah. V'ayin the Mishnah Berurah, further you look inside, shepasik, shetzarech lakum l'chol hapachais, at least if you can't get up so early in the morning, at least you have to wake up Chatzi shah lifnei tefillah, at least a half an hour before davening. Sheyuchal lahachin atzma, because you'll be able to prepare yourself. V'lavay l'tefillah bizman, and come to davening on time. It takes time to get ready in the morning. Get up in the morning, you have to press snooze a few times, then you have to go into the restroom, and then you have to take a shower, and then you have to put on your best clothes, and then you have to look in the mirror a few times to make sure you look good. Then you have to get the right shoes, and the colors have to match, and everything. Then you have to get to shul. You have to get in the car, and then the gate is locked, and you have to get out of your car, and you have to slide open the gate, and you have to come here, and then you have to pass by the coffee machine, and you have to grab a coffee before you come in. It takes a lot of time to get ready in the morning. Says the Mishnah Berurah, if you're gonna need all of that time, then we have to make sure that we wake up early enough to be able to do that. He brings down a beautiful ma'isa that there was a Rav of a certain shul that came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky and told him that he has a real problem. And the problem is that everybody in the shul comes late. And they're coming so late that they're missing the Zman of Kriya Shema, they're missing the Zman of the time of Shemona Esrei, of Tefillah. What am I supposed to do? So Rav Chaim Kanievsky said, nothing. There's nothing you can do. It's hopeless. You have a Kehillah that comes late and they're missing this time and they're missing that time. Nothing that you can do. And he said, I want to tell you a story. He said there was once a fellow who was a wealthy businessman. He owned like a cabinetry factory, and he was very, very successful in the cabinetry that was going throughout the land. And he was particular every day to make sure that he went to Minyan. However, he always came late. He came different times every single day. One time was for the first Kaddish, one time was for Baruch, one time was violin, whatever it was. He always came late. But he was always there. Every single day he was by shul. So the Rav came to him one day and he says, Reb Yid, I don't understand. You're so makpid, you're so particular to make sure that you come to davening every day. Why aren't you makpid to come on time? So he said, Rabbi, does it really matter? Whether I come 5 minutes earlier, whether I come 5 minutes later, the main thing is I'm here. And by the time I leave, I davened everything. That's all that counts, that I davened. So Rav said, okay, whatever you say. A few days later, a few weeks later, so this same Balabas who said it doesn't matter, 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, he came to the Rav, his face was downcast. And the rabbi said, what's the matter? He said, my entire factory burned down to the ground today. And I know exactly why. Mida keneged mida, measure for measure, because I come late every day. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu burned down my factory. So the Rav said, how do you know that that's why Hashem burned it down? He said, because when the fire broke out, they called the fire department immediately. And the fire department was on their way. But they got there 5 minutes late. And by the time that they got there, the building had caught fire so much, it burned down to the ground. And I said all these years, 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes later, what's the big deal? The big deal is 5 minutes cost me my entire building. And therefore, said Rav Chaim Kanievsky, a person, how much they have to realize that that's what it does to the buildings made out of sticks and stones. all the more so how much we have to be careful that our davening is on time. We wake up early enough that we have enough time to prepare ourselves properly so that when we're coming into shul, not running into shul, but when we come into the shul, so we're ready to go 6:30 a.m. on the dot, Be'ez Hashem. We'll see you all tomorrow, 6:29 and 30 seconds. Have a good evening.